Michael B. Jordan, the movie superstar of the century. He can't do anything wrong. Every movie he's ever made has been critic and box office gold. Creed, Black Panther, Just Mercy, Fan Four Stick, Justice League, The Flashpoint Paradox, all of it is great. I love everything he's ever done. So good. I'm kind of joking though.
Wow, I should see that. It looks like a really good movie with an interesting plot, good characters, and awesome action. No other reason why I should watch it. Wow, 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 wow.
Without Remorse is based on a book by Tom Clancy, the guy who created Jack Ryan, and it follows a character named John Clark as he tries to avenge the murder of his wife. I honestly wasn't expecting anything great, but I did have some decent expectations because of the people involved. It stars Michael B. Jordan, who's a great actor, it's directed by the guy who did Sicario 2, which I like, and it's written by Taylor Sheridan, who's written a bunch of good movies actually. So needless to say, a lot of talented people were involved, and yet the movie is just bad. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it really squanders a lot of potential. But do you wanna know why? I've often criticized movies by saying something like, the cinematography, visual effects, and acting are good, but the writing was terrible. And that's true for a lot of movies. They can be the best looking movie of the year, but if the script is shit, then the whole experience is just ruined. In the case of Without Remorse, this is a very surprising flaw because Taylor Sheridan has written some of the most standout crime movies of the past few years. They're not perfect, but they're all worth watching. The same can't be said for this one though. There are no real interesting plot beats, it's just, oh, the Russians might start a war with us and we have to stop them or something. When I say it like that, it does sound interesting, but it's not like that in the movie. There are no dynamics between the characters aside from generic ones. John Clark is the only character given any significant focus. Everyone else is just like in the background or off to the side of him. The closest we get to any type of enjoyable dynamic is between John Clark and Tintin because they don't really like each other. I just realized that both of these guys were in Fan Four Stick. Damn. I'm gonna point to one of Sheridan's previous scripts for comparison. In Sicario, the dynamic between the main characters makes the movie. Emily Blunt is a staunch FBI agent who is all about doing things legally and by the book, even though everyone around her, including Josh Brolin, is very morally gray and willing to break the rules to get what they want. Then Benicio del Toro, the assassin whose presence in the operation represents everything Emily Blunt's character is against, is very open to doing the dirty work. But at the same time, he sees a lot of himself in her. Throughout the movie, the two have a very volatile respect for each other, and it makes the movie much more interesting to watch.
She moved to a small town where the rule of law still exists. You will not survive here. You're not a wolf. And this is the land of wolves now.
By comparison,
They know what my mission is.
Now, why weren't you on the plane? How did they know where to find us?
Russian airspace, where am I taking?
Bullshit! Same thing happened in Aleppo. What's the real mission?
oh, they don't like each other. What refreshing writing. Apparently the book is pretty different from the movie. Like in the book, his wife is already dead and his new lover is the one who gets killed, and a major setting is Vietnam. It sounds really interesting, but for whatever reason we can speculate, I think studio notes. Sheridan rewrote the story so that the wife is killed and they go to Russia instead of Vietnam. Basically, Sheridan and his co-writers rewrote Clancy's story into something you would find on a bad crime TV show. It takes a potentially engrossing story and completely cheapens it. We know he's gonna survive, we know he's gonna get revenge, we know that because the movie is just so generic. So we can tell that generic shit's gonna happen. But to be fair to Sheridan, it's not just the bad writing. I think there's a problem with the way the movie's edited. It's not like Suicide Squad or Justice League where everything is just,
you have the blood of the old gods in you. The old gods died.
shit. I just think that everything happens way too fast. I'm serious, from the beginning of the movie, the sequence of events are so quickly paced, and you barely have any time to actually connect with any of the characters. Even John Clark, the only real character the audience can connect to, is screwed over by the editing. One moment that stands out for me is the scene where the wife is killed. In the trailer, it shows his full reaction. His screaming, his grief, his rage, his need for vengeance. This one moment perfectly encapsulates his emotional state throughout the entire story and gives us, the audience, a reason to feel sorry for him and thus root for him. But in the actual movie, aww, she's dead. Revenge, I guess. Why would you cut that out? That was a perfect moment! And that sums up what's really the main problem with this movie. In spite of all the talent... Can you hear that siren? I can. In spite of all the talent, in spite of some good material to adapt from, in spite of its own efforts, the movie is just empty. It's a husk of potential. It takes what could have been a really engaging, emotionally charged story and turns it into something bland and boring. I don't care if John Clark gets revenge or if he manages to beat the prison guards, not when his reaction to his wife's death is this. There are some good stuff in the movie. Michael B. Jordan does a good job. The cinematography was okay. The action was... I saw the movie yesterday and I don't remember the action. Obviously, the plane crash scene and the prison scene are well done, but I knew he was gonna make it out. They even show it in the trailer. Compared to something like John Wick, this movie's action is really lackluster. There's nothing dynamic or interesting or memorable about it. It's just... there. Oh, action. We gotta get to the next plot beat. Action! The ending sets up a sequel, an adaptation of Rainbow Six, but given the fact that both critics and audiences didn't find much to enjoy with this one, I don't think it's gonna happen. Some people may want it, but I think it's more likely that we'll get a sequel to Ready Player One before a sequel to this. But if I'm wrong, I guess my words don't count for shit or whatever. It's a real shame. With so many talented people behind the film, they had the potential to make a hit like Hunt for Red October. Instead, it's just another one of those mediocre, bland action movies that are forgotten about after they come out. Oh well. Anyway, I'm gonna go watch the Snyder Cut for the 6th time. Bye.
Alexa, how many tablespoons are in a cup?
There are 16 tablespoons in a cup.